So we're going to be using the quadratic formula. Hopefully you've seen this before, but if not, we're going to go through it anyway. So first, the first step, maybe you want to write down the steps. I don't know. What do you want to do? The first step is to write your quadratic in standard form, meaning first comes the x squared, then the x, then the number. So I'm going to get this all to one side, and the easiest thing is to just add 3x over. So I'm moving it over to the other side. So then I have 0 equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now some people are thinking, well, what if I move this over there and this over there? Well, as long as you use the proper signs, like you change this to a positive 4 on the other side, then it won't matter. You'll get the same answers. So then we have to remember, I just burped. Then we have to remember what is A, what is B, what is C. A is the coefficient of the x squared. So that's A. B is the coefficient of the x. So that's B. And C is the number. So we include, notice I circled the plus, we include the signs. And then I use the quadratic formula. The negative B. So this is what I do. Oh, it's a positive 3? I make it a negative 3. Well, what if it was already a negative 3? Well, then I would say a negative 3, which would change it to a positive 3. Tricky. So let's use the quadratic formula. X equals negative b. There we go. Plus or minus. That's where my two answers come from. The square root of b squared. So that will be 3 squared. That's 9. Minus, always a minus in there, and always a 4, times A is 2, B is, no, 4 times A times C, negative 4, and all divided by 2 times A is 2, so I have the 2 times 2 on the bottom there, and then I have negative 3, I'm not going to touch that, plus or minus, I'm going to work on the inside here. Square root of 9. Look at this. Look. Negative 4 times 2. Negative 8. Times negative 4. What's negative 8 times negative 4? Positive 32 plus 32. So many people screw that up. It's so easy. It's just multiplying. Do it in the calculator. Include the sign for that negative 4 there. And then over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. And then I have x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root. 32 was 41? 41, right? Yes. No? Yes. All over 4. Now, I try 41. Can I write that as a perfect square times something else? I think 41 is prime. So, no, I cannot. So, I can leave my answer like this. I can write it like this. Plus square root of 41 over 4 and negative 3 minus the square root of 41 over 4. And this is what I would do. I would actually change these to decimals. Just so I can, get it. Because I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. But if I put it in a decimal, I get a better idea. So what I do is I get my calculator. I get my calculator out. And I look at it and I do the 41 in the square root. So I go 41 square root. And then I do plus a negative 3. So I'll do that. Plus 3 and then make a negative and I say equals. And that's like right here I get 3.40312 blah 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 blah. And then I say divide that by 4. And I go divide it by 4. And so my first answer is 0.85. And if I round, I can round it to 1. There. Okay. What's my next one? Well, I'll do that. I start with the square root. That's 41, and I square root it. Oh, very nice. But I may have to make a negative, so I make it negative. And then I, again, add a negative 3. What? You just made it? No. I make this negative because this is the same thing as that. So I make it negative, and I add the negative 3. So plus 3, make that negative, equals. On the top, I get negative 9.40312, something. Divide by 4. And then I get negative 2.35. And if I round, 1. So there we go. those are my two answers. I would say that's acceptable. I want you to do this as well. I want you to write it as decimals as well. So that's what we're doing. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all we're doing. Get it into, so step 1 is standard form. Is step 2, decide what A, B, and C is. Is step 3, use the quadratic formula and don't screw it up, man. And that's all. Have a good day.